You know, we're outside. We could lower our masks if you want.
Usually on work trips, I end up back in the hotel just talking to my mother. But I guess today you're my mom. Are you seeing this?
I don't know, Mom. It's just one date.
Yeah, no, Mom, I don't really have any other choice. It's shelter in place.
No, he doesn't seem gay.
Oh, God. I love your place.
My parents are comfortable with you staying the night. Oh, that's not mine.
Of course.
They're old-fashioned, like me. My landlord really likes the TV, so he watches the game and drinks beer.
Where's the TV? Now that my career is in such a good place, I'll get married this year, have kids a year after that. We'll all live with my mother. Are you okay with 3?
Yes.
I can also do 2. It's so refreshing to meet someone with the same values. I think you're not my wife.
Okay.
There was some deception, and it just feels wrong now.
Totally.
Okay, I was a little bit worried that you were catching feelings.
Mm-hmm.
Am I boring?
What? Daddy, I want your car. No?
You hesitated.
I did?
I'm not boring. Have you been on a lot of arranged dates?
Oh, yeah. My mother's desperate.
You're not?
No, never. It's just exhausting. When can I see you again?
Not for a while.
So do you want me to stop calling? Why do you want to get married?
It would be nice to have someone to cuddle with.
You don't need to be married to cuddle someone.
I literally do. I've been trying to do this for a year now, and it doesn't seem to work out.
That's not what love is like. Love, it's not something you grow like a plant. You can't just go from being complete strangers to living together. That was a lot of work. Moment of truth. Oh my God, that is so good. Right? I'm a chef.
So filling, I almost feel like I'm already full.
Excellent. Hello, guys.
Hi.
Nice to meet you both.
You too.
Nice to meet you too.
Yeah, where are you guys?
We're in New York. We just got here last night. We have our premiere here tonight, and then we leave tomorrow morning. So quick trip.
Wow, that is quick, because then you have to go probably to another premiere weekend or something.
Yeah, we have another one in LA on Friday.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow, it's great. I'm glad. Well, let's see. Well, I guess before we talk about the theater, I can always add the theaters later or something where people, but I was thinking about that very particularly, like, this is maybe shooting during the heart of COVID, the pandemic, and then the film comes out now where seem to be, not to jump the gun, but we seem to be emerging, right, guys, from where people can actually now see 7 days in the theater, which is.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's really crazy.
Yeah, we were always really nervous. Like after we premiered at Tribeca, we were like, what is the right time for this movie to come out? And in its own magical way, I think it is coming out in the right time.
Yeah, because I saw it at Tribeca last year, and from my couch.
Right. Oh, great.
Well, I moved out of the city. I was living in the city for maybe too long. I don't know if that's. But I was going to just say, like, wondering if you guys had any idea when you were, like, during that time, let's say at Tribeca, where it had its world premiere.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you. If you could have imagined that it would be playing theatrically when it opened, or if it would open, I don't know what you were thinking.
It was all so far from our minds, because we were like, if this movie gets made, it's a miracle. And truly, because I expected us to have a positive COVID result every day of shooting. And it was just so like, can we cross the finish line? And every day of prep was, are we actually going to make this? And then every day of shooting it was, are we actually going to finish this? And then, so we didn't really have any bigger or broader thoughts about the future or the fate of the movie after we had made it. And then I think we were really hoping for digital distribution primarily. That's, I think, was the primary vision in our minds. So theatrical was a true bonus.
Right.
We're grateful to Cinedigm for doing it. But it's true, yeah. It does feel like the right time in many ways.
Let me also identify you properly, because I'm so eager that I jumped right into it with
No.
you guys.
No.
Yeah, so I'm Roshan.
I know, Roshan Sethi.
Yes, perfect. Yeah.
Thank you. Perfect is always nice to hear. when it
Yeah.
comes to- And then you're the director of the film,
Yeah,
and co-writer, of course. And then Karan Soni.
Yes, perfect.
Just please, because I have a lot. I say this all the time, but I have a lot of guests come on with different backgrounds, different names, ethnicities, etc., and even my own. And Sharkov is got 3 consonants in a row, and it kind of trips people up. And so I always say, well, people say that's fine, however you pronounced it. I'm like, well, no. I want to. How's your mother pronounce it? That's usually my litmus.
Well, you were great. It's the word car and the word in Karan. So you were pretty much there.
Karan. So is this emphasis on the first syllable?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you for correcting it then, because I do care about that. Well, I was just glad to see when I saw it. I really didn't know like what, just had. I like, of course, the Duplass imprint doesn't hurt, right? And so that was one of the reasons, but also just I was saying, yeah, let me check in and see what this film, which is a romantic comedy essentially, in a very simple premise, old-fashioned premise. I mean, right?
Yeah, no, it is. And we were so lucky to have the Duplass brothers on board, because really they are just the pros at making something like this. We almost entirely use their crew from pre-production to production and post, and cannot imagine it being made without them. Yeah.
What was their involvement, Mark and Jay? Were they kind of available remotely during the production, or?
Yeah, they helped in all kinds of ways. Mark is in the movie. His voice is in it.
And they basically connected us.
Yeah, he's daddy. He plays daddy. He was the daddy of the movie.
Okay. Yeah, he was the daddy of the movie. And then they connected us to Liz Cardenas, who was our on-the-ground producer. And she truly, she has made like movies like Never Going Back and Ghost Story and sort of in the under $1 million range movies. And they're really challenging to make. And then we were making it in COVID. And so she really, really like kind of spearheaded the entire process right up until even now. She's helping us with everything. So they really sort of gave us infrastructure. And then Jeremy, the director of photography, is a huge Duplass person.
And then Mel Eslin, who runs the Duplass Brothers production company,
is your producer.
Yeah, and is the person who greenlit the movie.
But Karan, you worked with Mark, of course, years ago on Safety Not Guaranteed. So there's that I'm assuming, maybe incorrectly, but I'm assuming maybe that was the original connection, perhaps.
Yeah, so I did that movie when I was still in college. Wow. And I missed my college graduation to go film it in Seattle, and missed my finals. And so I was in this really weird place where I had decided to like roll the dice on trying to commit to Hollywood in a way. And I was terrified. And that was really my first movie in many ways. And I think Mark just zeroed in on that energy. And he was like, this kid is really scared. And he was very, very kind to be like, here's my email, here's my number. And then we didn't really connect. Like he would invite me to premieres of things that they did, but we didn't really work together again until this show Room 104 that they did on HBO.
Sure, yeah. Very familiar with that show.
Yeah, and it was a thing where they just called me out of the blue and they were like, we have an actor who now has a scheduling conflict. We're shooting this episode tomorrow. Can you be the lead of it? And I just sort of jumped in. It was like this wild experience. Wow. We shot it in 2 days. And sort of after that, we were always sort of connected again. And then Roshan had written another script we had sent to them, and it sort of didn't work out. And so we were always looking to do something. And then we wrote this sort of in the summer of 2020, and they were on top of our mind of like, can you imagine if they said yes to this, like we could actually maybe make it. And we sent it to them, and Mel sort of and Mark read it right away. And they agreed to do it, which was really wild and crazy. So this feels like a really full circle moment to get to collaborate with them on this, because they've been with us since like day zero, basically.
That's wonderful. That's a great story. Success story, I suppose. um, I mentioned in very broad, sweet terms, sort of the theme of this romantic comedy, that to meet cute, which is the old expression, of course, but it's also like the formula of like opposites attract, and it's all about how will they get there. So, you come from your character is Ravi, who Karan, your character is Ravi, who is very conservative, comparatively speaking, and from a more traditional background. Your image of yourself, or how you'd like to see yourself, is someone who's a lot more exciting, but you're kind of conservative, right? From a
Yes,
personal,
very
sheltered. That's a good way of putting it. Whereas Rita, the woman who you go on this blind date, you're under the impression that she's also from a traditional family, but it turns out, of course, in the funny, those scenes are wonderful. They're so funny, that opening sequence with the two of you, and how more and more you learn more. So you guys, what is your, I'm curious to know, you said, Karan, for instance, you missed graduation and your finals to shoot that film. And I'm wondering, I was thinking, did his parents freak out? And then that made me even think a little bit deeper about maybe wondering what your backgrounds were in that regard. Do you come from traditional backgrounds or not? Maybe you could both talk about that and how you led to your writing this character and the story.
Yeah, my parents did not freak out magically, but it's really the exception, I will say, for Indian parents. I think, unfortunately, they did freak out initially in college when I got my first agent the summer before my junior year of college. And so there was like a whole conversation then of like, how are you going to make money doing this or whatever, and which I appreciate in retrospect, because I wasn't really thinking about the practicality of having a career in Hollywood. But they have been so crazy supportive. So yeah, that wasn't a real thing. But I think for Roshan, the story was a little bit different.
Yeah. Well, you were able to take, it's a double-edged sword, right, Roshan? Because you're a physician, so everybody was probably only too thrilled that you followed the right path, and then now all of a sudden you've gone astray.
Yeah,
in the arts.
Very traditional parents in every way that you can imagine. I will say in general that it is, so Karan grew up, is born and raised in India, and is himself an immigrant. My mom immigrated ultimately from India, but I was born and raised in Canada and then America.
I see.
So we do have different experiences of being Indian. My parents were very traditional in a way that is actually very typical of first generation immigrants, because they left India in the 60s and 70s at a time when it was at its most conservative. India has since liberalized, but the people who left it at the peak of its conservatism have not. So it's very much the case for me and a lot of my people of my generation that their parents are quite conservative. In addition, because they were immigrants, they're all about survival and hustle. So they have to do things like they have to do things like, say, be a doctor or a lawyer or an engineer, because you have to survive in this new country that is alien to the country in which we come from.
And may not be as friendly.
But the luxury of being an artist, of dreaming, of writing, of acting, of directing, that is a luxury that my parents could not afford, but that I can because of their sacrifices.
Wow. So you got your degree, right? You did your residency, from what I understand, and then before you started working as a physician, you made the film. Is that
yeah, it was after, and well, I finished medical school and residency. I finished residency in June of 2020. Okay. And then we made this movie in September of 2020. And I started as as a part-time attending physician, which is like when you're a grown-up doctor, in November of 2020. So this was wedged between residency and becoming an attending for the first time.
And how did you guys meet?
We met on a dating app called Raya. which is not it's I don't know if many people know, but it's a dating app. Yeah.
It's really for the industry, it
Yeah.
seems like, primarily, and for creative people.
Is that
but
true?
That's how it started. We're so out of it now.
I don't know what it is now.
Right, yeah, things have adapted. Wait, let me ask you, what is the name of it?
Raya.
How do you spell that?
Raya.
Okay, I don't want to do a free ad for them, but
Yeah,
because I've met someone too on an app which I was kind of nervous about because of its reputation in the past, but it turns out that it it's just a bunch of middle-aged people like myself, just kind of desperate middle-aged
we have
people.
no idea what Raya is now, but then it was famous for just Ben Affleck being on it.
Is that right?
Yeah, or it was
on
used
it.
by, there were prominent celebrities, of which I was not one, on it at the time.
Yeah, it had a lot of people within the quote unquote industry on it, and people that were maybe slightly public figures. And
I see, right. That makes sense.
Yeah,
I don't know, again, what it is now, but that's how we met.
yeah.
Well, hopefully you'll never have to do another app again. I wish that for both of you too.
Us too.
The name of the movie, getting back to that, is 7 Days. It's directed by Roshan Sethi and co-written by Roshan as well. And then Karan Soni plays, you co-wrote it and you play Ravi, one of the leads in it. And you shot this movie during COVID, right? And what was the time period? Because it must have been relatively early.
Yeah, we shot it in September 2020.
Okay, so about 6 months in.
We shot in 8 days.
Wow.
Yeah. And then we edited in like 2 weeks. And we prepped before that for a month. So for a typical feature film time frame, we were extremely abbreviated. I think it's typical in features to shoot like 2 to 5 pages per day. We did 15.
15,
so in TV, they often do 7 to 10.
Mm-hmm.
But we were beyond both of those metrics. We were shooting at a blistering pace.
Sorry?
We were shooting at a blistering pace. Oh.
Yeah, I mean, but mind you, they kept within the all the protocols and the rules of SAG Indie or whatever you shot. We wouldn't want people to think otherwise. And what was I going to say? Oh, yeah. So then the film festivals, just one after another. You guys had incredible run of film festivals, right?
Yeah, it's our
Did
first.
you go to any of them?
Yeah, we went to Tribeca and BFI London, and then we went to Hawaii as well.
Yes, in Hawaii.
I'm sorry you had to drag your butts over there. Yeah, that must have been very unpleasant for you guys.
Yeah, that was the hardest part of making this movie, was the plane ride to Hawaii.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it's 6 hours.
Isn't the plane ride? Oh, 6.
Yeah.
Right, from LA.
From LA,
yeah. You're lucky you didn't have to come from New York or worse, London, of course. But and what was I going to say? Oh, yeah, and then there were just recently the Spirit Awards, where the film won Best First Feature. That had to feel okay.
Yeah, we were so delighted and surprised that even happened. We were, although everyone says it and it's such a cliche, we felt lucky to be nominated. So.
Yeah, we didn't really have any budget to campaign or anything for the award, so we truly were going into being like, this is huge. That the movie technically hadn't even come out, so we were like, this is easy, that it was on their radar. And then we didn't really have a budget really for like screenings or anything, so we sort of were like, this is great, we get to just go here. And it was just really heartening to be like, oh, this is sort of like the old school word of mouth thing maybe working, where people watched it and liked it and talked about it on their own. And it's so nice, because the ultimate thing with all these awards is that it just hopefully means more people will be aware of the movie and want to watch it.
Right. Well, and they'll see this, and of course they'll flock.
Yes, of course.
Well, congratulations on that award. And I guess it has to play at there's certain festivals, right? Must be the requirements in this case, because it's obviously not theatricals, because you're doing it after that.
screen at certain festivals within the calendar year. So they are unlike some of the other awards in that they do not require release or distribution to qualify for it.
Very good. And of course, we must mention Karen's co-star Geraldine Viswanathan. Now here's where I really have an opportunity. Viswanathan, I'm going to say, but I don't know.
Viswanathan.
Viswanathan. Okay. Again, so emphasis on the syllables where I fall victim, I guess.
That's a really hard one. I mean, we just learned how to do it this morning.
Yeah,
so.
I'm not even confident what we said is accurate.
Yeah, but I get some challenging. It's all good. It's good. It keeps me sharp.
Yeah.
So, but it's lovely to meet you both. And gosh, I just I really enjoyed 7 Days so much when I saw it. So when I saw that you guys were getting the theatrical was coming, I really made a point of trying to get you guys on here because it's such a pleasure to meet.
For hosting us, we're really grateful.
Anytime. Let's keep in touch because I'm curious, of course, to see how things progress in your careers.
Yeah.
And
I'm obsessed with your Zoom setup. This high angle is really unique.
Well, you don't want to see me straight on. You just don't want that. There's there's all sorts of chins going on, and anyway, yeah. It's and it's a wide angle too.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, it's everything.
Yeah, except for the light's a little bit quirky, but we can have another episode on tech. We could do that.
Yeah, no, I like it. Yeah.
It's really nice to meet you both. And I, again, wish you luck with 7 Days. It opens March 25th at a theater go to the, which I don't even know. I'll have to
go to AMC or Fandango. You'll be able to find the
there you go.
Closest to you.
Yeah.
We'll put links. I'll have links and everything too, so people can find the film. It's not going to be a problem. Okay.
Great. Thank you so much. It was great meeting you.
You too, guys.
All right.
Bye-bye. Have a great day.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.